yeah, what y'all want to go into?
How you got into TikToking? So how did you transition from being a rapper to going into TikTok?
Hey, I really actually don't do I just add my shit. I do it on Instagram, and I just put it on TikTok. I just post and go on TikTok. Like I don't have the mental fortitude to add another app to my life at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I still gotta write music. Like,
that's a lot.
That's the main thing. That's where I make my money. So you can't. Well, the most of my money. So you can't neglect that for fucking TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And hope that the algorithm does its thing.
Hope that I blow up on. Like, nah, fuck that. So we're really. I'm just a fucking. I was the class clown, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm always myself. Like, I ain't never, even when I'm around my street nigga friends, like, I skateboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always used to fuck with me. Like, oh, bro, he skateboard. He just like a skateboarder. Now everybody dressed like a skateboarder. Like, you know what I mean? But they fucked with me because I didn't come around them trying to be something I wasn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that from hanging around street niggas. Like, I'm not about to be up here and be acting tough. Or not that don't get me wrong, don't try me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna push over, but I'm not gonna be fucking walking around these niggas like, yo, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I just always been myself. And then I started seeing on the reels that people were doing like these lip sync things over funny reels of clips from movies and shit like that. So I would like do them and I can nail them. Like, don't get me wrong. If you see me doing them, like it takes me like 40 takes to get to the point where I can say, all right, I'm gonna post this. And then I even get comments like, bro, you are spot on with it. Like, I done memorized the breath patterns of what the person is saying and when the next word's coming and shit. So then I start acting. Like, I always want to be an actor. Like, that's really what I wanted to do because, again, there's no rappers from Finneytown. You can't rap if you're not gonna be a rapper if you're from Finneytown.
Quiet as kept. A lot of people don't know that a shitload of actors have come out of Cincinnati.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. I'm like, all right. And I went to Shield, which was the institute. Shield was a performing arts elementary school back in the day. Like, they had an elementary school and then there was performing arts. Like, now they got all mushed into one. Mm-hmm. But I went to Shield and I was a arts kid, like, you know what I'm saying? But then we moved to Finneytown because we lived in Evanston and we moved to Finneytown. Then, like, we're really went into sports. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up playing sports in middle school and high school. So I never nurtured my artistic talent. Like, you know what I mean? Until I started nurturing it myself. The TikTok shit. So I started doing it and I started getting this one idea. It's Gilly. It's really Gilly talking to Young Thug. And then Young Thug's talking to Gilly and Young Thug's like blabbering and Gilly just going, right. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? As he's talking, right. And you get in like, I'm like, oh, I can do something with this. And then it's the caption. So you redo that, but you kind of act in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing it like, I forget what I said the caption was, like when a local rapper telling you he about to blow up. And then I'll kind of like, I use kind of like self-deprecation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a rapper. So it's like, I was once that local rapper where people didn't want to hear what I had to fucking say. You know what I'm saying? So I was like rolling a blunt and I was just going, right. Right. And it just kind of, I look at my Instagram, that shit had took the fuck off. And I start looking in the comments, they like, bro, look like Steve Harvey. Like, all the comments are, bro, look like Steve Harvey. Bro, look like Steve Harvey. And I was like, fuck that, Street Harvey.
Street Harvey?
Yeah.
That's how it was born.
Yeah, that's how it was born. And in my label, they're like, I make placement music with the label, and they're like, yo, you need to really lean into this. Like, I'm like, fuck, I got to keep this mustache. Like, cause I did that shit as a joke. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I grew that mustache in 2022 and I told my wife, yo, these shits are coming back. And now everybody has the thick fucking old school mustaches. Like, bro, I start everything, bro. I swear to God.
Going and putting the twist on it.
Yeah, all that shit. Like, that's my thing. I'm being myself. Like, yes, I'm an artist. Yes, I'm a rapper, but I'm not one of those fucking tough guy rappers that we gonna shoot them up bang bang in every fucking song. Like, bro, can't nobody be that gangster. You gotta get tired at some point. Like, this gotta be exhausting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just being myself, and that's how that shit started. You know what I mean?
How'd you come with the creation of Santino Corleon?
So my real name is Santino. And my mother got it from The Godfather, and she seen The Godfather when she was 16 years old. And she said, when my first son, I'm going to name him Santino. So 10 years later, I was born. So I was Santino 10 years before I was even Fantino. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when my boy in Staten Island, as a matter of fact, he like, yo, you should be Santino Corleon. And I'm like, nah. I was like, I can't. That's like a mobster's name. Like no. Like he's like, nah. That's like. One day I was like, you know what? I need to be Santino Corleone. Like, and I stuck with it. Now, if you look, I don't spell Corleone correctly. I take the e off at the end because like Italians have vowels in their name. Like I used to hang around some hardcore Italians. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, fucking guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? This fucking guy. What are you doing here? Eh? Like. And like you have that vowel in your name like mean something like in Italian culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I ain't Italian. Let's drop that shit. And back in the day, we was wilding out doing a lot of drugs. So I used to be like, it's an E at the end of Corleone. I was like, I ate the E. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we were doing E pills a lot. Like, but yeah, so that's where that came from. You know what I mean? It's just always been me. Like, you know what I mean? I actually dropped it for the Corleone part for my placement music. So all my placement music, when you look that up, it's just under Santino. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a little more commercial, and I'm on my shit's on TV and all that shit a lot more. And I don't want to say Corleone has a bad connotation, but it just looks better without.
So for the people that don't know how to find you, you know,
I'm at Santino Corleone on everything. You know what I'm saying? Still, but just the music part. Like, so my songs are going to the Jeopardy part. So my manager at the time, he was tour manager to Out of Sight, and he used to have me come out on the road with Out of Sight. So that's how I met Out of Sight. And then we kind of just had like that artist relationship, like, oh, we fucked with each other shit. You know what I mean? So that was over about I'd say a 7-year period. And then when my son's born in 2016, I take a hiatus because I kind of get that. I was 34 when I had my first child, like my only child. I have 2 stepkids, but my only child. I was 34. 2 weeks later, I turned 35. You know what I'm saying? So I get this thing in my head, like, damn, do I gotta stop this shit? Like, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't as lucrative as it is now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just throwing shit to the wall and hoping it stuck. So I didn't want to, he shouldn't have to fucking struggle for that. Like my son, like, you know what I'm saying? So I went and got a real job for the first time in probably 8 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I made a decision at one point, like, this one I'm doing, if I'm a struggle working for a motherfucker at any job. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Cause I hear people bitching about it all the time. Like, I'm a struggle at any job, so might as well struggle doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and everybody around me kind of knew, like, yeah, that's what he's doing. Like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't really.
That's crazy because I kind of explained it to my son that way and told him, you know, pick your hearts.
Yeah.
You know, if it's gonna
my mother
be,
used to tell me
it's
that.
Gonna be.
Yeah, pick your hearts. Yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time over here, right. And you're gonna have a hard time trying to make it. Which one are you gonna be?
Yep. So. When he's born, I go get a job working in factories, like driving forklifts and shit. And it started getting to the point where I'm like, these little checks is all right. Like, you know what I mean? Because you go from being an artist, not making any money,
trying to get that money
these
up.
Little 2-week checks every week.
Consistent.
And you're like, this is cool. So you start getting comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never want to be comfortable.
The
That's my greatest
killer
enemy.
right there.
Comfortability.
Yes.
So I start getting comfortable. I'm paying bills and shit. Like, but deep down, I'm a little miserable. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it outwardly, but I am. And I know I am. But I start trying to trick my mind. And I think that's when people quit, this is what they do. They just kind of gradually not do things until they're not doing it anymore.
Slowly accept it.
Yeah. And
compromise.
I was in that period. And then one day I just go home and I tell my wife, I was like, well, before that, my boy in Columbus calls me and he's like, what's wrong with you? The fuck are you talking about? Because he live in Columbus. Like, he ain't around me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I just tell something wrong with you. You ain't posted no music for a while. You just not the same person you usually are online. Like, I'm like, man, I'm like a dad now. I'm paying bills and shit, like going to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you want me to do? Like, I was like, I'm fucking miserable, but whatever. He's like, put some fucking music out. And I was like, you know what's funny? I got a whole album sitting on my computer and it's mixed and mastered. And I did. And I didn't have a name for it or anything at the time. And that later became therapy. So he goes,
I wanted to talk about that too.
We'll get to that. So yeah, that this leads into it. So he's like, how much it costs to put out a project? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, no, like crunch the numbers for real. I'm like, $500 on the low end. I'm on the phone. He cash apps me $500 in the middle of the conversation. Like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like, he like put that shit out because you were making me depressed watching you fucking not put out music.
Yeah,
he's not in the music industry at all. Like, he's a general manager of a restaurant. So he's like, and then he's telling me like, I kind of need something because my shit is mundane. Like, he's single and he's like a general manager of this restaurant. He's like, I need something exciting to do. Like, I'm like, well, this is what we gonna do. So we ain't gonna fall out over just $500. You're gonna go into business with me. You're gonna become my business partner. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he is till this day. But so I have this project out and I wind up coming up with therapy because I'm like, I've basically been going through therapy this whole year and a half of not doing music, becoming a dad, trying to transition into a father. Because if I do something, I'm gonna do it 100%. So if I'm gonna do this music, I'm doing 100%. If I'm gonna be a father, I'm gonna do it 100%. How can I do fatherhood 100% and do music 100%? It took me a year and a half to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And then one day I go home and I tell my wife and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm 35 now. You retire at 65. You're supposed to. I'm like, I got to do this for 30 more years. Like, this shit started to seem like a jail sentence. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I'm just being honest with you, for 30 more years. She's like, just quit. We'll figure it out. And when she said that, it just like jolted me back in the, like, you know, because I told her the other day, she's not the type of person, and I couldn't even be with her if she was. Like, if I had decided then, like, I'm just going to do music and we just going to have to figure this out, she wouldn't have been mad. Like, she would have encouraged me, like, well, we just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But something in my head was like, I don't want her to even have to go through her people like, oh, he needs to quit that music shit and worry about his son. You know what I mean? So I deliberately went and got a job before anybody could say that shit. So when she gave, I was like, I almost needed her permission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which I didn't, but it was just something that kind of snapped me back into place. So, funny story is I put that, I set the release date on that project for March 1st, because this happens in like late February. You know what I'm saying? Mid-February of,
like 2015.
Nah, this ain't 15.
This is 2019.
This is 15. Yeah, you're right. 15. It's about to be 16. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's 16, about to be 17, because my son was born in 16. So no, it's 18. I'm sorry. Well, damn, it's 2018. I get confused.
We'll cut it down.
It's 17. So this is 17, about to be 18. So I set it for March 1st. I'm online and I'm homegirl with Talib Kweli's baby mother, and he's on tour at the time, and I know him from the past. We've done shit together, like, you know what I'm saying? And he's on tour, and I call her and I go, hey, I'm just gonna throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. So I'm like, hey, ask him how much it is to buy in on 10 dates on that tour, because you can buy in. I'm just giving away the game, but anyways, she hit me back. She gave me a number. I'm like, oh, I start calling like all my other industry friends. I call out of sight, like, yo, 10 dates for this price. Like, and he like, do that shit. Like, when Out of Sight told me that shit, I was like, cool. Like, so I get a bunch of merch made. So basically, in one phone call, I'm literally back on a tour. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I had thought like, well, if I'm gonna drop this shit, I'm gonna have to really go back into the local scene and start all over. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been 2 years. Like, I was watching people come out scene like I'd never heard of before. Like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So the scene's going to continue to grow even if you're not in it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she said quit. I dropped that shit March 1st. March 24th, I was on tour. You know what I'm saying?
That's life, though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we knock on doors hoping in our brain, like, all right, if the doors doesn't open on this,
sometimes
it's done.
That door, bro. Like, that's why, like, you got to take that leap. And that leap is when she's like, quit. Because this is
boom
17. So 17 to 8, all 17, we were doing Uber Eats. Like, she had a real job. And what she would do is I would drop her off at work. And while she was fucking working, I would just do Uber Eats. You know what I'm saying? And then I started like, yo, if we did this together, we could probably make more bread like than what you making at work. Like, sure enough, I did the numbers. Yeah. Quit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gonna figure this shit out. We in the figure it out mode.
I think as people, we put that brick wall in front of us because
Well,
even
think
what you
need
said,
the job, like
yeah, like you said,
Safety
a real
nets.
job, like
yeah,
so.
it's a safety net.
What is a real job?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, and it's gonna get done.
Right. And the universe ain't gonna give it to you until it sees that you gonna do it. And this is where everything changes for me. Because when we doing Uber Eats making $1,000 a week because I'm out there busting ass, like, you know what I'm saying? In that time, now it's 19. Yeah, now it's 19, and I put out Tales from the Trap Side and The Vibes, and there's like 2 little EPs I put out, and I dropped a couple videos, right? Then I did a show with Cincinnati, shout out Cincinnati, opening for Aaron Carter, RIP, and Nelly at BB&T Arena.
Oh, wow.
Mind you, Out of Sight and them are watching me from a distance again. You know what I'm saying? So this goes into me getting signed. So in 19, they're watching me from a distance. I get a phone call in 19, and this is my ex-manager at the time. He like, Out of Sight got something for you, but I'm going to let him tell you. The fuck is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And the other time, he would just tell me like, oh, yeah, Out of Sight got a show, come out to whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So Out of Sight called me like a week later, and he's like telling me about this record. So I'm like processing all this on the phone call, and all I hear is record. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, they just want me to put some verses on it. And like, Out of Sight never asked me to do music. Like, like it's weird. Like I'm processing all this shit. Like, what the fuck is this shit? So then he's like, yeah, I already got the hook on it or whatever. Like, but I want you to do the hook. Like, and just write your verses. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and then he says something about paperwork, but that's normal. Like, if you're gonna do songs, just so you know, everybody's
on the same page.
On the same page.
Paperwork.
On the song. So I'm like, okay, I hear paperwork, whatever, cool. They send the song, I'm the beat, and I'm like, oh, I fuck with this. And I knew exactly what they wanted on it based off the hook. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I already know what this is. Because I already know they do music that winds up on TV. And I randomly hear shit on TV all the time. So you start to get kind of a pattern. Like, oh, I kind of hear what.
There's a formula of some sort.
It's a formula. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give it away. But there is a formula. And so I knew exactly what they want. And I write GOAT. It's GOAT. And so this is mid-19. What happened in that phone call is we starting a record label and you gonna be the first artist we signing.
Oh shit.
I didn't process that shit. It took me a week. I called it. I'm like, wait a minute, they started a label? And they're like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be the first fucking person they signed. Like, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So the first record we did is GOAT. They're sending me back mixes and shit. Like, you know, I got like 30 different versions of all my records. Like, next thing I know, on New Year's Eve, 19 going into 20, I get a fucking phone call and it's Out of Sight. And he's like, ABC just picked up GOAT.
Oh.
I don't know what show it is. So this is my first placement, right? I'm like, yo, fuck, like what? Like this is the only record we have at the time. Like, you know what I mean? So the first one places automatically. And me and my boy, who's my business partner, we on like ABC's website trying to guess.
Trying to see what it's like.
Bro, nobody ever thought Jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? He called me like, bro, it's a fucking TV, there's a promo ad for Jeopardy, greatest of all time tournament. They gonna use GOAT. I'm like, get the fuck out of town.
Dude,
like,
that is awesome.
So I started seeing it on TV and I'd hear my voice intertime with Alex Trebek, like in this commercial, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Legendary.
Like, and that first check, I bought a car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used to get made, oh, you ain't got a car, like, because I always knew I'm grinding for some purpose. Like, that shit, anybody can do that. Anybody can't do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first big placement. And then I probably had my biggest ones last year and during the NFL season, like our NFL Plus commercial, I can't even remember them at this point, like UFC, fucking Major League Baseball. My last project placed more records than anything. And then I start, so basically, this time of year, I'm usually in LA. And I'm back and forth because my family's here. So I spend a month in LA, I'll come back. Spend a month in LA, come back. I do that all the way until September. Excuse me. My son's birthday in October. October 24th is Halloween. Then it's my birthday. So usually I'm like, all right. And the music industry shuts down on Thanksgiving. until New Year's, because all the big wigs and executives, they go south to France, they go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the break time. So I take a break then, and like if you see me online, that's when it all turns off football with me, and I'm like super bingled out, like, you know what I'm saying? So during that time, I kind of take a break, spend all my time with my family because I've been gone a lot, you know what I mean, throughout the year. And then the New Year's rolls around, and then we kind of get started back again. Then they start sending me beats, and then they're like, I start sending back records. And then literally in 2 sessions, they hit me up and they're like, you got a project already. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is the fastest that shit has ever happened. Like, and they like, yo, I got a bunch of stuff that's about to play, so it's about to get crazy.
Oh, hell yeah. The floodgates are open.
Yeah. And they're millionaires off this shit. And I always say, they all like, sometimes they'll send back a record. They're like, we trying to change this. Do you mind? I'm like, you got a platinum plaque. Like, why the fuck? I'm not going to argue with you. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And there's a formula to it. And that's why I get a lot of the sports ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in sync placements, these corporations and TV shits, they want to use hip hop. Hip hop is the #1 genre of music in the world. You know what I'm saying? They want to use hip hop. Like, that's why you hear hip hop on fucking everything now.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up like that. You didn't hear that shit. Like, hip hop was that boobity boop music. Like, you know what I mean? They wasn't putting that shit on anything. So now you hear it on everything. So, but what's wrong with today's music? It's all fucking pussy, this, fuck you.
Bang, bang.
I fucked your girl. I'm doing perks and all that shit. They don't want to put that on TV. You know what I'm saying? So I literally just don't cuss in none of these records. You know what I mean? And purposely do not cuss. Like, and I always knew I could write records where I didn't cuss, because when I first started writing, I would write a verse and it'd be like, damn, I didn't even cuss. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I cuss probably more in my real life than I do my music. And I even put out, so when I put out my placement music, it's under Santino. I put out my regular music under Santino Corleon, but that's the raw uncut version of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't say that's the watered down version, but it's just a commercial version on this side. And then the other side, you got the raw uncut.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it now. Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's important as an artist, and being that I've worked with so many different artists, is that you take and make that song so many different times in reference to how you're going to market it.
I won't say it's the same song, but it's me saying the same things over and over again in different ways.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And I think
And
that's
making
important.
it sound cool. You know what I mean?
That's very important.
It's a challenge as a songwriter. You know what I mean? Like, as a songwriter, like, I mean, they signed me because I could write songs and they knew it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And as a songwriter, it's a challenge because I could, on a regular song, I could say fuck, and I could like, it's like almost taking the bar off. You know what I mean? Like, you cuss out of convenience sometimes to kind of get through a rap sometime. Like, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's filling up space. Like, I see the things in space. So where I can't cuss, I have to find ways to be a rapper. And what I mean by that is my verse has to sound cool as fuck and not, so it's not cheesy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because I always joke with my boy. I'm like Will Smith, bro. I rap happy. Like, what's that Undercover Brother when fucking
I think Lil Wayne mastered that real good too, to where he started taking and putting, what do you call it?
Metaphors and shit and all that.
Yeah, it's like you just laugh in the verse. Like, that's a bar. Like,
yeah. I was filling up the space part. Yeah. So I was like, I had to find ways to like make this shit sound cool without cussing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a rapper, bro. Like, I don't want to say I'm a rapper. I started out a rapper. I'm a fucking recording artist now, but my roots are in rapping. So I know I can do this. You know what I mean? So I just found like, and I get to have fun. And that's one thing I like about the placement songs. Like, I almost just be like having fun on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let me try this. Let me try something different. And it's just, thank God it's worked out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what we got new coming?
Well, I just dropped a video the other day called My Time. I just was in LA and I was performing at a fashion event, opening for Coi Leray, Danny Lace, Saucy Santana, and Funkmaster Flex. Grandmaster Flash was the DJ there. So I just did that event and I shot a video in that, and then I had a studio session in LA. So I just had my boy Ty come out, a Skeleton Production, shout out to them. Come out to the studio and we shot the rest of the video during my recording session. So I'm recording placement music at once, and then they have a fucking white studio room, like, you know, the white rooms. So I'm shooting a video and another, so I'm like going back and forth, like, you know what I mean?
Dude.
So we just dropped that video. I got more placement shit coming out. We're in the middle of trying to figure out a project right now. No name for it, but we're gonna come drop it in the summer for sure. So just, you know,
waiting.
but just stay hungry, stay working.
Waiting.
Definitely give them your name again so everyone can tap in with you.
It's at Santino Corleon on all streaming platforms. SANTINO CORLEON. You know what I'm saying?
We're definitely looking forward to some more content from you and everything you got going on. Keep up the good work. I mean,
thank you.
Like we were saying before, your whole archive as far as being on the news and everything else like that, you're applying the pressure and we could really see it.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I'm like, does anybody notice? Like, you
well,
know
we do. We for sure do.
Because the TV stuff is weird because I'll be sitting at home and like during football season, they had this one commercial. NFL Plus picked up one of my songs and they were running that commercial every second. So during the game, if it's Sunday and the games are playing, that commercial's gonna come on 70 times. Like, so I'm just in the crib and all of a sudden I'll hear my song coming from the TV. But a year ago, I got this beat, so it's already like locked into my head. So I'm like, wait, where's that coming from? Like, is it coming from my phone? Like, did I accidentally hit play on something? Like, oh no, that shit coming from the TV, bro.
Crazy.
Like, that shit is a wild feeling. Like,
does not having a blue check bring that to a reality in reference to
like
people?
now that they got this thing where they selling them?
Yeah,
I got one. I was already verified.
Right.
The label got me verified in February 2022. Now I think that shit is bullshit because it's like, yo, I worked so hard to get that. You know what I mean? And now you can just, and I've seen people posting, oh, I'm so happy. I just got verified. I got my blue check. They bought a subscription and it's people in the comments congratulating them. I'm a fucking artist, bro. I live, eat, breathe this shit. My entire life is this.
But the whole blue check bullshit is exactly what happened with the whole internet phase. You guys went out, both of you guys went out and you hustled. You guys gave out your promotions to get the people there.
Do it on a click.
And now you can just do it on the click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't jump into this Instagram and all these platforms and utilize them, then you're going to get left behind. But in the same point in time, the people that have put in the work are still getting left behind, or their work's not validated.
Overlooked. Like,
yes.
It minimizes me. Like, I've had that check for 2 years now. Like, it minimizes it. You know what I mean? It makes it waters it down. Like, anybody can get that shit now. Like, it really took me a blood, sweat, and tears to get that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to be interviewed by major publications and shit like that. Like, that's how I got that shit. I told the label, like, yo, can y'all get me verified? And they were like, yeah, just send us everything you've been in, like news articles, whoopty whoopty whoop. Sent it to him. Like a week later, I'm commenting on something. I see a blue check by my name. I thought, oh, Instagram glitching. I look like I had my wife look like, go in there. Do I got a blue check? And she's like, oh shit, you verified. And I'm going to text the label and I'm like, I'm literally about to hit send and the text comes in. It's them like, check your Instagram. I'm like, I was just texting you motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
so
badass.
now, like, yeah, it's the thing like people congratulate. Like, yo, you're congratulating someone for buying a fucking subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I worked so hard for that shit. Like, I don't buy no fucking subscription.
It's the same concept as buying views on YouTube and shit like that.
Said, Fame from YNO said it best. He said that Apple from $9.99 be kicking y'all ass. That these blue checks ain't gonna last long.
Shout out them YNO, dude. Yeah,
I said, yo, that's it right there. And I'm like, yo, if I see somebody got a blue check, I'm like, show me one thing you've been published in, like, or one thing you got published. Or else it's cap. Or anything past 22 is cap. I just got it right before they did a dumb shit.
Or explain publishing. Just
right, so publishing.
People, no, I know.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying to an artist or because a lot of people don't know. Right. But so, you can explain it.
All right, so I'll explain it kind of on the placement end. When I write a song, 50% of that publishing automatically goes to the producer. You know what I'm saying? It's a pie. You know what I'm saying? So you got a whole pie. 50% goes automatically to producer. The other 50%, if it's just me on the song, the other 50% goes to me. You know what I'm saying? So I get paid for my performance on the song, and I get paid for the publishing of the song. You get what I'm saying? So I'm basically getting paid twice each song. You can get a publishing check one day for 36 cents, and you can get one the next day for 20,000. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, I've gotten checks for $3 and then I've gotten checks for something crazy. Like, I don't want to say it online, but
no, cool.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. Like, now and I always get the shit hits my account and I'm like, am I doing something illegal? You know what I mean? Because it feel like I got imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're just giving me this money? Like, yeah, I put the work in. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wrote the music. Yeah, they used it on TV. I get why they're paying you, but when you start, this shit changes and you start making money, you like, yo, is this shit real? Like,
you probably think that way too, because you've been putting in the work for so long and getting, I wouldn't say slapped in the face, but these doors kind of shut. And then all of a sudden,
the floodgates open.
You're still doing your thing.
And mentally, I'm still back there at the point. Like, it's taken me 3 years to kind of like, this is it. Like, because at first I'm like, I don't want to like kind of go overboard. Like, not saying being cocky, but like,
you'll live in the moment.
But yeah. Like putting like, I don't know. I just don't really see myself as sometimes as other people see me. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I could sometimes. That's like one of my biggest wishes. But in that, it returns to me being kind of more reserved. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say I'm humble because I feel like you can't say you're humble. Like somebody has to say that about you. But like, I'm just an everyday dude. Like, I've never let any attention or anything like that get to me because it's bullshit at the end of the day. It's fickle. It could be gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest fear when it's really started taking off back in the Mac Miller days was I'm going to wake up tomorrow and not know how to rap, or something's going to happen and all this is going to stop. You know what I'm saying? Thank the universe it hasn't stopped. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I'm doing the work at the same time.
I'm doing something right. That's what it is. Making those handshakes.
Validation finally and be vindicated and just like, yo, I made it. And it's cool to say that. Like, it was like scary to say that. If you listen to Kendrick Lamar's song Fear on Damn, it explains it all what I'm talking about. You have it's like this fear. Like he said, 30 shows a month and I still won't buy me no Lexus. Like, cause he's scared that something gonna happen and I ain't gonna get no money no more. Like gone. It's gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then you start getting these checks and you're like, I ain't spending on this shit. Like, I'm just looking at it in my account. Like, you're like, what the fuck? Like, am I doing something? Like, you almost think you scamming or something. Yeah.
Like, you working with your eyes shut.
This is a mistake. So they gonna call me in a second, like, send some of that back. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's calling. Yeah. Nobody's calling.
Small mistake.
Yeah, it's just me dealing with success. You know what I'm saying? It's a motherfucker. Like, what do I think of success? It sucks too much stress. Like Eminem said that shit back in the day. Like, and it's weird because it's like some people see you a certain way. I was talking on Twitter the other day. I'm a checker on the people. Like, I'm gonna hit you up. I don't need shit from you. You know what I'm saying? You good, bro? Everything cool? All right, I'm just checking on you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody does that to me, and I know why. Because they see the social media me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sees, even my family at times. So they think that I'm always good because I'm always showing you the good. You get what I'm saying? Or they see what my accomplishments and they're like, he's good. You know what I'm saying? I have bad days all the fucking time. Like, you know what I'm saying? My pops passed away this summer. Then my brother just got murdered. Like, I go through shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And so nobody ever really checks on me, but I get why. Like, you know what I'm saying? They always assume that I'm okay because they perceive me as being successful.
And right there, I'm sorry to hear all that, man.
No, thank you.
And I think that's what's wrong with social media, because it's like you don't post your bad days.
Right. You know, I'll give you the downsides of this shit because I'm not gonna be one of the people that only give you the good.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna get when I say I'm not gonna give you my personal life. You know what I'm saying? That's going to always be private to me. But I'm going to tell you pitfalls where I fucked up at. You know what I'm saying? Where you could, and I always tell people I can't give you advice because it may not work for you. What worked for me. It may not work for you. But I can tell you what I did and you can take tidbits from it and apply it to whatever it's going to work for you. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you that. So yeah, like, man, it's just dealing with success and being like, I did it. I ain't got to where I wanted to go, but
you're still on a mission, man.
I'm still on a mission, but I'm at that point now where I can say back in the day, I'd be like, man, I ain't worried about the money. Like, the money will come. Like, I mean, it's been plenty of times where they have asked me back in the day to come to a show in Charleston, South Carolina. They're not paying for me to get there. You know what I'm saying? You got to get down there on your own. Like, so one time they had a show, Lipton Tea Festival was out of sight opening for the Roots. They're like, come down. Like, we need you basically. And I get down there. Well, some dude, my homie at the time, he gonna drive me down there, right? The day we about to leave, he's like, oh, no, I can't do it. And I'm like, okay, so there's one of them moments. What I'm gonna do? Shit, I'm getting on the Greyhound. Fuck it.
Prevail.
I done fucking took the bus to New York City so many times. It ain't shit to get on these buses. So I take the bus down there. I meet them down there. They're like, how you get down here? Shit, I took the Greyhound. They was like, what? Like, they were surprised. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that is the reason I got signed. Because when they start in the label and they mention my name, they go, man, we need somebody who will take the Greyhound to fucking South Carolina to meet us for a show. And then people, they don't pay me to go there. They don't pay me to get down there. I just go there to soak up whatever I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And then people would be like, even people around here that I know, I wouldn't be going nowhere if they wasn't paying me. Who the fuck are you?
Right.
You are nobody. I'm a nobody at that point. Like you've sold no records. Like people don't understand that. Like they want to set boundaries. Like some of these boundaries in the beginning you can't set. You got to do the free shows. I did the free shows. Like I've done everything. I've done everything you need to do to get to the point where I charge for shows. Like you know what I'm saying? But all that, I ain't going nowhere if they ain't paying me. Yeah, and you just fucked up an opportunity because that opportunity got me signed. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely got to chase the passion and not the check.
Yep.
And even though we all need a check to...
It'll come. It'll eventually come. You just got to tough it out. If this is what you really want to do, you're going to tough it out. Period.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's why everybody don't make it. Everybody ain't supposed to make it. You know what I'm saying?
I know you said you don't like to give advice, but if you had just to dig deep and give an up-and-coming artist...
Yep. So it would be cliche. It would be like, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't let any outside influences tell you. You know how many times I've been told you can't do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all those people are fucking fans now. You know what I'm saying? All those people, or they don't remember. They don't think I remember them saying the things that they said. And now I hope they see this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I remember, you know what I mean? I just don't, it's no point to what I'm going to rub it in your face. You see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I leave you around so you can see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it would just be, don't let anybody discourage you from whatever it is you want to do. Family, women, dudes, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship like that and you got a significant other who's almost controlling and like, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you're going to really do this, you can't be with a person like that because I literally leave my kids behind all the time and I'm married. Like I got to go to LA for an entire month. If I was in a relationship where my wife didn't trust me or I was some type of like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just a whole nother fucking shit you want to deal with. So don't even listen to anybody. Do whatever you want to do and fucking follow your heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? The universe, whatever you believe in, will tell you if you just listen hard enough. Like, that's the only advice I can give because I can't say, move to New York. I can't say, hey, drop everything you're doing and move to LA. Like, you may go out there and get that. Those cities will swallow you the fuck up if you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So just, play one day at a time. I'm 41 years old. I signed a record deal at 38. 83 Sound is signed to Warner Music Group, like that, which is signed to a major. It's like, so you know what I'm saying? So it's like, time is not a thing. I don't give a fuck about it because I used to get that, he's old. The fuck does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You've been putting in the work though.
And I don't look 41, like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't act it either, which I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I got friends, I'm like, bro, you like 50, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, don't listen to nobody. Time is not a thing. It may take you till you 38, but hey, it was fun. I had a lot of fun getting up to that point. I had a lot of fun continuing to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's a journey, bro. It's a real journey. Like, and with anything, you're going to have ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? So just figure out what it is you want to do and just do it. It's cliche as it sounds. You know what I'm saying?
Well said, man.
Cincy Local and Live. I'm Cincinnati Ty.
Randall Pink.
Santino Corleon.
Tap in.
Or tap out.
Let's go.
Appreciate y'all.
Dope fuck.
Now I gotta go be a dad and go pick up my son.